this week was crazy.
Oh, what craziness unfolded.
On Tuesday morning, I woke up in agonizing pain, like some of the worst stomach pain I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I woke up in the morning because I was having a dream, and I just keep going, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. And then I wake up and I'm in the worst pain of my life.
Hi, Julie.
Hello.
I'm so excited to be on with you. I feel that we have not spoken in ages, even though we've been in it's different. Don't you agree?
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
Which we'll talk about. I think that's probably going to be the main episode, just talking about the week.
The crazy drama.
I don't know.
There's things to discuss. There are things to discuss. First off, I'm bringing some brightness to the party today.
Yes, I hop on. She's wearing a pink fuchsia tank top.
Is it pink? It's red, really.
Okay, well, it looks pink on my end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't really wear the color pink, but the color red, I don't know. This is working. And it's a kind of a cherry red, so I'm liking it. And it's very different. Not a color I normally wear. So This is my boom, hello shirt.
When we hopped on the Zoom, I said, that's a fun color.
I was wishing I was recording already. Anyway.
Well, I just recreated the moment for you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh my gosh. I was laughing because this morning, I feel like every time now I speak to you, when I say something, one of my dumb Hellenisms or something. Yeah, one of my isms. I always think, okay, I just gave her more material for her set.
Well, for another this morning, we're supposed to record this podcast. And I'm getting ready to get set up, and you text me. You're like, Dad just told me the clouds are coming in an hour, so I'm going to go lay in the sun. And I said, that is the most Jersey text I've ever received.
Okay, but I need to clarify a little bit. So I got up. I never even had a chance to take a shower. I was up and at my computer working from the minute I opened my eyes this morning, and it was one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. So I've been sitting, and finally at 1 o'clock, I got up to go eat something for breakfast. I had an omelet at 1. And then I was like, oh, I'm never getting outside, and it's a gorgeous day. So I then decided I'm going to slather myself up with sunscreen and get out there and get some vitamin D and have a little nap. And that's exactly what I did.
A nap in the sun.
It was the best. I needed it. And now I'm refreshed and ready in my cherry red tank top.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yesterday, Steven was like, you need to make a list of things to do when you're not feeling good. Because I took a shower and I was like, oh, I feel so much better. And he was like, the list needs to be like, take a shower, go for a walk, sit in the sun. And if you're not feeling good, do one of those 3 things. Because every time I do one of those and then I come back from doing this, I'm like, it feels so much better.
Right. It's crazy, but those things are good. And I also realized something, that since I have been spending a lot more time in the city recently due to all the things and the bridal shower and wedding things, whatever the weekend events have been, and I haven't been here that much at the beach, and that's where we are now. So because I haven't been here, I don't take that kind of time as breaks. Now in the city, I do take a break. Like I'll say, I'm going to go for a run on the west side, or I'm going to go for a walk and do some shopping. So I do things, but for some reason, it's not, as my Espanol maestro would say, it's not descansar. I'm not resting. It's very active rest in the city. Whereas here, it literally is rest. And then, so I need it, I guess. I needed it. I needed it today after the week I had. I will say your week was crazier than mine, but because we're going to talk about yours longer, I'm just going to kick off with a few things from my side. Okay. Been working on this project for quite a while. I don't mind saying, because people know I work on Sensodyne. So I've been working on a project, casting, etc., budgeting, and presenting for this project, and then found out that when they award the job to another company. So it was a bit of a bummer of a week. It's the nature of the beast. It happens. I mean, it doesn't happen often because I work on that brand pretty consistently. So it was a little bit of a blow. And I've since gotten more information about why it went that way. But still, it was a blow. And then I said, I referenced the Seinfeld episode. You know, the episode where Seinfeld drops $20 out the window and he says, look, I'm going to prove it. Because he said everything balances. Like when he loses something, he gets it back or somehow. So he did it as proof. He said, look, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to drop $20 out the window. Do you know this episode? You're looking blank at me.
Yes.
So he drops $20. He drops
We just watched
$20
this
out
one.
the window. Oh, it's so funny. And then who comes in and gives him $20 and says, "Oh, that's $20 I owe you here. I want to pay you back or something." Remember?
Yeah.
I don't remember what the scene is, but he gets $20 back. So the point of the story is, after that happens and it was like a blow, the same day, this other job books, which is, I don't know if I should say, but it's somewhat better because I'm going to be traveling overseas and it's going to be a Spanish-speaking country. So how excited am I that I'm going to be able to practico español on top of the work, see another country, see another city. It's insane. And the project was lingering, but now it's firm and it's doubled in length and it might triple in length. So it might triple in length. You just heard it right. It went from 2 days to a 4-day shoot. Now it might be a 6-day shoot. So
wow.
I threw it's like I threw $20 out a window.
Yeah, you threw $20 out a window and got $150. That's what happened.
I don't know about that.
I threw $20 out the window this week and I got negative. I'm in the red.
And that's what I'm wearing.
No way. I threw $20 out the window this week and I got hit by a rock.
That's hysterical. Oh my gosh.
So you're having a great week.
Well, it was better than expected but the thing is, when it happened, and I want to say this, even when it first happened, I was like trying to find the silver lining immediately. Just like when I was blind and I was trying to find the silver lining, and when I had cancer, all those things. And I realized it's my instinct is go, well, maybe there was a reason this is happening. I immediately go into that mode. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing for me is when the job went away, I immediately started thinking, why did it go away? I mean, there must be a reason. So I was thinking about that. And then I was going, well, at least the summer will be more pleasant because I won't have to be prepping the job when we're on vacation. So all of those things were going through my head about like why this is probably a good thing that it didn't happen. And it's so weird. So I never really got that down about it. I was like a little annoyed for a bit and I was like, rah, 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 and I was singing the Eminem song in my head. F this, F that, you know what I mean? Great lyrics for when you're in a bad mood. So I was going through that for about 5 minutes, but I said it was almost like the stages of a breakup. I was sad, I was hurt, then I was like annoyed, and then I was trying to like figure out why. All the stages of a breakup happened when I lost this gig. So for anybody out there who has something where they were literally waiting on something and then it doesn't pan out, honestly, this is my exercise and it works every time. I just go, well, there must be a reason that's not happening. And now I know the reason is this would have been stressful to have this project because it's happening the week leading up to that other project. So I would have been freaking out that I would have this project being traveling and then not be around to prep that other job. So it all works out for the best. It really does. It's meant to be. And that's another Seinfeld episode.
That's the end of your week.
Wait, it's another Seinfeld episode. Meant to be. Oh, was that Seinfeld or was that, maybe that's Everybody Loves Raymond. It is meant to be. If you know, you know out there. If you know, you know. Because if you're an Everybody Loves Raymond fan, that's a line from that one. Anyway, we watch a lot of Everybody Loves Raymond reruns right now. We're in that, just like you get into watching The Office. Is that the one that you watch always reruns on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're Everybody Loves Raymond, which is a classic. So, let's flip it. What happened to you this week? Oh, what craziness unfolded.
Well, part of me is wondering if I should pause because I might have to go to the bathroom, which leads into the drama of this week.
All right, you want to pause?
Yeah, let me pause and just go real quick. Oh, this is so annoying.
We're back. Why do you have to pee so much?
So, this week, should I reveal or should we do the build up?
I think you can. I don't know. Sometimes it's better just say it and then work, and then just the sequence of events.
Okay.
It's up to you. What do you think? You're the storyteller.
Okay.
I'll let you
Let's
go
do
with
the
it.
story. Let's do the story with the reveal. So, this week was crazy because on Tuesday morning, I woke up in agonizing pain, like some of the worst stomach pain I've ever experienced in my entire life. Like sharp shooting pains on my lower left side. I thought maybe I just had to like go to the bathroom and I ate something bad, or I was having really bad period cramps because I was supposed to get my period.
But don't skip the part where you were dreaming about being in pain, because that sometimes happens to me. That's an important part.
And I woke up in the morning because I was having a dream. I don't know what was going on in the dream. I was like at a hotel or a hair salon, and all I can remember in the dream is that the I'm standing at like a front desk of like a secretary at this hotel hair salon. I don't know what it is, but it's a desk. I'm talking to another person behind it. And I'm just like, I'm like doubled over the desk, like my arms, I have like my head down, and I just keep going, I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick.
Oh,
I'm sick. And then I wake up and I'm in the worst pain of my life.
Right. That's been known
Awful.
to happen. Pain can wake you up. It like can legit, especially this pain, because carry on and tell the story.
Yeah. So I'm in this pain. I wake up at around like 8:45, 9, and I'm kind of just like suffering through it, not really doing it. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. And then Steven's alarm goes off at like 9:30. And as soon as his alarm goes off, I go, Steven, I'm in a lot of pain. Because I was just like, at that point, like, it was kind of just like building up at that point. And I was like, I'm in a lot of pain. Like, it was like, I couldn't get comfortable. I was like writhing, and I just like didn't know what to do. And at one point I was in so much pain that I thought I was going to throw up.
Yes.
And then that's when I knew. I was like, okay, we have to go somewhere. I was like, so we started with like going to urgent care, because I was like, maybe this is a kidney stone, but I shouldn't be in this much pain. I thought it may be a kidney stone because a couple days earlier I was having like the feeling that I was like getting a UTI, which is the same thing that happened the last time I had a kidney stone, whereas like I thought it was a UTI, and then it ends up being a kidney stone. So like, maybe it's a kidney stone. But then when I was in so much pain, I thought I was going to throw up. I was like, okay, this can't
Maybe
be a kidney stone, because I'm like, this is so much pain. So we go to urgent care. We bring a bag in case I throw up, and we wait at urgent care for like 45 minutes to get seen. We get seen. I'm literally at this point, like I have to rock, like shit. Like I can't sit still. I'm like rocking my body. I'm standing up. I'm like pacing in the lobby. I'm that annoying, like patient in the waiting room, because I'm just in so much pain. And I go back, do a urine test, see the doctor. And she basically sees the urine test and is like, well, there's indicators that like it's probably a kidney stone. If you're in this much pain, it might be infected. Something might be wrong. Your options are, we can order you a CT scan and give you like a pain relief, and you can go home, or your best bet's probably just like to go to the ER and have them do everything there. Like you might have to wait longer, but at least you'd get everything figured out in like a day.
Oh, I see. So the CT scan, they wouldn't have been at because I was thinking that would
No.
been oh, okay.
She was like, we could do a blood test. We won't get the results back for 3 days. We could also do a CAT scan, but we'd have to order it, and you probably wouldn't be able to do it till earliest, like tomorrow or even the next day.
Oh,
and I was like,
no.
That's not going to work. And she's like,
it's not going to
if you're not a fan of waiting room, like of ERs, then I was like, I don't really care. I just like want to not be in pain. So she gave me a pain shot. So we went to the ER. And it was funny because she was like, the hospital near us, she was like, there's always a really long wait. So I go to any other hospital, but it's the closest one to our house. Like it's a 5-minute drive. And I was like, God forbid the worst thing happens. I don't want to drive, like Steven have to drive back and forth like 30 minutes just to save us like an hour in the waiting room. Because it's like a 5-minute drive. Like if he needed to like come home to get stuff, I'm thinking like it wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Good thinking. Even in pain, you're thinking
Even in pain.
I like this. This is good. This is a good mental process that you had.
Yeah,
because it's important.
So we go to the hospital. And we check in. I get my vitals. I get my blood work done. All pretty fast, honestly. And then the worst part was like waiting for almost like 4 hours. We got there at noon, and I didn't go back to see like a doctor until like 4, which I guess isn't like awful, but it wasn't great. It was just. It was waves of pain where like the pain meds helped, and then it didn't, and then I was in pain, and then it helped, and then I wasn't in pain. And it was actually kind of crazy because right before we went to see a doctor, I like peed and I was like, oh my God, I feel fine. Like it was really strange. I was like, I felt like maybe I'm just and then I was like gaslighting myself. I was like, am I making myself crazy? Like, am I even in pain? I'm like telling Steven, he's like, it's fine. We're going to keep going. Like, just don't worry about it. He's like, you were in pain. He was like validating me.
But it really can make your mind crazy.
You know?
Having been there. And people should know about this. This is not widely talked about, the type of things that indicate kidney stones. They think it should be more widely known, but maybe it is, and maybe I just never paid attention. But you're saying all the things because I threw up from it, literally threw up from it. So I got all the way to the throw up point. So I know exactly what that is, Julie, exactly what you felt. And it's just the most horrific thing. I'm so sorry.
It's horrifying. It feels like you're getting like stabbed. Like
Yeah. And there's no describing it. It's that way of you can't get
I
comfortable
know.
and you're moving and you think if I just move this way, if I just move that way, and you just can't get comfortable. It's this,
You
it's,
can't get
it's
comfortable.
and it makes you psycho because then minutes like you pee and then you're not feeling pain anymore and you think you're
Yeah.
crazy. So I feel it. All
So,
right. So
yeah.
you carried on to the ER and
Carried on. I went to get a CAT scan. Which the funny part of it, and there's a lot of funny moments in the day that I wrote down that I have to like turn into jokes eventually. But the guy taking me to the CAT scan, he's like, "Any chance you're pregnant?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Are you sure? Because like you shouldn't be going to a CAT scan if you're pregnant." I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, just triple checking because you really shouldn't be going to a CAT scan if you're pregnant." I'm like, "Well, now you're making me second guess myself." I was like, "I just gave a urine sample. Why don't you tell me? Like, what? Tell me if I'm pregnant."
right. That's
And then
just
he's
terrifying.
like, "Okay, bye." He's like, leaves me, and then right before I'm about to go on the pop bed, he like screams out. He's like, "You're not pregnant, by the way." I was like, "Thank you. I knew that, but thank you." So I got a CAT scan, and like pretty quickly after the CAT scan, they're like, "Yeah, it looks like it's a kidney stone, but we're gonna wait for the doctor to get like the full analysis, like maybe to make sure nothing's wrong." Basically, what ended up happening is that it was like a 2 millimeter kidney stone that I guess was stuck, and that's why I was in a
Yeah.
lot of pain, where it had gotten stuck trying to like get into my bladder or like
Yeah.
from my kidney into my bladder, and it was just stuck. So
Yeah.
yeah, really painful. They ended up giving me another, like, I got an IV for the first time, which is really crazy.
Oh, that was your first IV.
It was
Oh,
my
I'm
first
so
IV.
sorry.
I know. And he was like, I was in so much pain when he came to try and like give it to me that I was like, I don't care, just do it wherever. And then after he did it my right arm. I was like, oh, I know
didn't
from your
learn?
chemo that I should have gotten it in my left arm so that I can use my phone. But I was in
Yes.
so much pain that I really couldn't use my phone. Like I
At that
tried listening
point.
to music a lot of times, that like it helped and it didn't, because I was also on edge, like waiting for the doctor. I didn't want to miss anything.
Julie, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
And it's horrible, and to only to have been through it is to really truly understand. And I start to think about that with a lot of things now. When I go through the things, I'm like, at least now I'm more empathetic to someone who's going through this now or through that now. Like I think all the things that you like, I feel like they're stacked up in my medical. They're stacking up the things so that I can be more so I can relate to what you've been through.
Yeah. And I think the crazy thing is like I had a kidney stone almost a year ago. So like I knew what that pain felt like, and that pain was more of like a UTI. It must have been a lot smaller, where it was
Might
like
have been, and it was also could not have been lodged in the place where it caused you pain. Because some people pass kidney stones unknowingly.
I know. How?
I don't. Well, because they don't have the part where they have pain. I don't know. They don't hurt. They don't hurt. It's crazy. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I even ever told you this at the time, but the first time I had a kidney stone before, because I've had them, I think 3 times total now in my life. The first time I had no idea. And I saw a specialist who, I won't even say his name, but he actually sat there, and I was a working busy producer at the time, and I had a list of things to do, and I was at the doctor with my to-do list while I was waiting for him, trying to keep myself distracted, because that's the other thing. You almost have to do something to distract yourself because it's pain, but then you can't concentrate on that thing because you're in too much pain. It's like a catch-22. And so he walked in and he gave me this line of questioning, and he's like, "Well, do you have stress?" And I said, "Well, I mean, I've always had stress because I have a stressful job, right?" Did they say that to you? Stress, right?
One of the nurses, when I was like getting my vitals at the very beginning of the day, was like, "So what's going on?" I was like, "I think I have a kidney stone. They said it might be infected at urgent care." He's like, "Oh, like, are you taking care of yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, maybe you should like," I was like, I thought maybe it was because I was traveling a lot, not drinking enough water. So I like told him that. And I'm like doubled over in pain while he's asking me these questions. And then he goes, "Well, maybe you should take some time and focus on yourself so this doesn't happen again."
Oh my God. All right. Terrible. People do not get it. But this doctor had the audacity, and the word is coming in hot, because he said, "Well, look, by the looks of your to-do list, you're probably stressed." Like, how dare you judge? Because what I'm doing here, organized with my nice little list of boxes to check off and things to do. He presumed that I manifested stress into a psychological condition when this was very, very physical. And I'm like, "Sir, I've always had a job like this with this kind of activity, and I'm a producer. I've been doing it at that point. I had been doing it maybe 10 years. This is not what's causing. I literally have a physical feeling that I have like a bladder infection or something." And will never forget that. He made me feel like I was crazy. And then I ended up going to another doctor, getting a scan, finding out it's a kidney stone. And I literally said to Tom at the time, I want to call that guy up and send him my test and be like, F you. I had a kidney stone the whole time. And you were trying to talk me into thinking I was stressed or crazy. So that's where, you know, self-advocacy and knowing your own body and being able to have confidence in the fact that you can speak up for yourself and not feel that you're being not allow yourself to be gaslit. It's hard though.
Yeah.
Because they're the
hard.
experts.
Especially like once I peed and then I was fine. I was like, oh, maybe I passed it. Like, because
Or
I
maybe
remember
I was
that
crazy.
I remember that from the last kidney stone. As soon as I passed it, like I had a really painful bathroom pee. And then the next time I was totally fine. So I was like, maybe it passed and maybe I just didn't realize.
Oh my God.
And then my doctor, he was fine. He was just like, even Steve and I were talking about it afterwards. Anytime he told me something, it was like he was ending the statement as a question.
Oh.
He's like, so you have a kidney stone? And I'm like, I don't have the answers, sir. You have to tell me what to do next. Like, I don't know, like what, it was the
That's
strangest
funny.
thing. And the doctors on either side of me that were like not handling my case were both women. I'm like, I got stuck with the male doctor who doesn't know how to like say stuff. And I was like, of course. He ended up being fine.
But was he
like,
young and just not sure of himself, or that was just his style of speech?
I think it was just his style of speech because he looked like a sad puppy. Like it was just,
Aww.
It was like,
I don't know why that made me say aw,
sad
but
puppy. And he was fine. He was nice. He wasn't like discrediting it, but it was just like, you know, like earlier in the day when the nurse had like felt my stomach, I was like visibly like reactive to the touch because it hurt. And then I had just peed right before I saw him. So he was like, oh, well, you're not having any pain in response to my touch. And I'm like, well, because I just went to the bathroom. And I think that's why.
Probably. It moved.
So,
And it's so crazy how it can come and go so severely. And then what I thought was strange, though, I'm sorry to say, is mine is usually in the back, and it's very rarely in my stomach do I feel it. So I was really confused by that. That's why I was like, I don't know, the stomach thing, maybe it's appendicitis, because I couldn't process that the pain would be in the front.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
It's really weird. Gosh.
So kidney stone. I got morphine right at the end of the trip at the hospital, which was nice. It was a nice little send off. Because then, honestly, ever since I had the morphine, that subsided all the pain. But also when I got the morphine, they gave me, now I'm taking every night, a pill to help. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know if it's like breaking up the stone, or if it's dilating things to help it flow easier. Yeah. Because I haven't had as much pain ever since I left the hospital, which is good.
And then maybe you did pass it, and it's just, who knows?
I don't know.
It just seems strange. But it's strange if you are really straining and then you don't see it.
Nothing. Like I've been, because now the thing is, they're like, strain it because this is your second one. We want to catch the stone so we can,
test it and see what it is. Calcification.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm like, oh, this is so annoying because now that I have a little backpack I have to carry around with like the strainer, and I have Lysol wipes, and I have paper towels, and I have a whole setup now for when I go in the bathroom because I need to like catch the stone. Like I need to be prepared, and I'm not gonna like. And you know, the day after the hospital, I'm going to a concert, and then last night, like the day after that, I'm
then you're in the bathroom at the concert, and you're straining your pee.
Yeah, I'm at the bathroom at this concert. I'm straining my pee. It's an ordeal, and I don't want to do it in this public bathroom in front of everybody. Right. So I'm like, oh yeah.
You know what's funny though is you keep going, and that was pretty impressive. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was thinking last night even about the last kidney stone I had was last summer, and I very distinctly remember having like very bad back pain, like because. I can date it because we flew out from LA to New Jersey for 4th of July. And like 2 days after we landed, I had really bad back pain. That weekend, we went up to the Catskills. And then like midweek is when I started having really, like at the end of the Catskills trip, almost a week later after that back pain is when I actually passed the stone. So I'm wondering if instead of having back pain this time, I had the stomach pain. And now it might take if I'm following the timeline of the last kidney stone, maybe it's going to take a week. So I don't know. But yeah, keep going. I don't know. I think I'm gonna strain for like a week, and if I don't catch anything until next week, then I'm gonna be like, it must have passed at this point. Right? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
No, I don't really know. Because the one time I remember noted when it passed, but the other time I had a stone, I never even knew when it passed. And after a while, I just stopped straining because I'm like, this is just a pain in the neck. I don't need to catch it. Whatever. Onward. It's as long as I'm not in pain anymore, I'm done. But it is weird because apparently I was texting my friend Michelle. Hi, Michelle, if you're listening. And she gave me a timeline. I think, what did she say exactly? She was saying when it passes from, she's a nurse, so she knows the details. She says something like when it passed, I think, okay, let's see. It's the rocky road down the urethra. Once it hits the bladder, you're good. Ureta?
Okay.
She wrote, so
Ureta.
So it's,
okay.
yeah.
I was looking that up. That's the like transport from the kidney to the bladder.
Right. And then once it's in the, she said once it's in the bladder, you're good. So maybe that's where you already passed.
But last time when it was in the bladder, I was having such painful pees.
That's so confusing.
Because it was like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But she's saying drink and strain. That was her direction. But I said you're already doing that, so I didn't have to tell you.
Yeah.
Craziness. The medical dramas. And I think this is just like the way, everybody has different things that they go through. And we happen to be the kidney stone family. I don't know.
I guess I would rather inherit the kidney stones than dad's bad knees and back. So
true. Yeah. You don't want the ortho problems. It's better to have. And kidney stones, as long as that's why I'm really like a water drinker big time now. And I used to be we didn't grow up with having a water bottle around or having water be anything that, it's just the 80s. Nobody drank water. Barely got it out of a hose when I was outside playing if I felt thirsty for a second. So it's not like we did a lot of water drinking. So I didn't grow up that way. So we drank water when, I'm a little thirsty. Let me have a drink. That's when we drank water. And now I drink. I have my thing on my desk. Well, I don't have it here now, of course, it's over there. But I always have the water on my desk when I'm working. I always have water by my bed. I have water when I'm watching TV. So I have evolved into a water drinker because I don't want kidney stone pain anymore.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I drink a lot of water. I don't know why.
You do drink a lot of water. So it is
do.
weird.
I don't know what it is. Stephen was also doing a lot of research. He said it could be part of the diet, and I've had to change my diet recently because of my stomach. So he's like, maybe something I'm doing in terms of trying to heal my stomach has
Wait, such a green flag. Steven's doing the research. Aw.
He always does the research. I know. I could tell. I was sitting in I could tell he was Googling things while we were sitting there.
Oh my
I couldn't. But I was gonna say,
Stephen could be. Wait, hold that thought for one more second. There is a guy that is very famous on TikTok because his wife was having some infertility issues, and he did so much research about foods and whatever, and made video after video about the things to eat when you're going through this, and they ended up they got pregnant. So he's like a TikTok famous from being the one who is researching for his wife and cooking for her the right foods and things like that. So that just made me think of Stephen because he's going to take care of you. Thank goodness. Thank you, Stephen. And I kept saying, thank goodness he's there with you. And I didn't mean because he wouldn't come with you to the hospital. I just meant because I'm just thankful you're not living there alone and going through, sitting there in a hospital by yourself, doubled over in pain. So that's what I meant by that when I was happy he was with you. Whew. Anyway, well, now go back to your thought that I interrupted.
I was going to say, you kind of mentioned this earlier, just a very policey mentality of life goes on, where it's okay, I have a kidney stone, but I'm going to a concert the next day, and I'm producing a show today, and now we're doing this podcast today, and we might go to a Dodgers game this weekend, and I'm I got my backpack, and I guess we're going to all the things, and
we're going to all the things. We power through. Really there's not much that keeps us down. And one might think, well, cancer could do it, but you find out, nope. Or
blindness? No.
Blindness might do it. Nope. So yeah, that's a good trait. You got to power through because life goes on, and then you wouldn't want to have missed those things. And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, the concert was fun.
I'm glad you have that. Good. I'm glad it was fun. What concert was it?
We went to see Vampire Weekend, and we went at the Hollywood Bowl, which we hadn't done before.
Ooh, that's fun.
Which is the outdoor, amphitheater kind of stadium. You would really like it.
Oh, I love that already. Sounds like fun.
It was really fun.
Good.
It was a good time.
I'm happy. I don't really have. This is the first weekend. It's Father's Day, so as of us
Next
recording
weekend.
this,
Oh,
this
yeah.
weekend's Father. Yes, as of us recording this, it's this weekend. But are you questioning it? It is Sunday. Are you panicked?
Oh my God. I meant to send something. I thought it was next weekend.
Oh, that's okay. That stinks. It is this weekend, but it's the first
I
weekend
have
where
an
I'm not
excuse.
doing. Okay, yes, you do. But I have to say, all the weekends have been. It's been bridal shower weekend. I think It's been Jonathan Special Olympics, bridal shower weekend. Before that, we had a wedding up in Connecticut. Before that, it was something else. So I have really been weekend to weekend to weekend. This is the first weekend that I can honestly say that I have no plans, and I'm very
Wow.
happy to have no plans. Nothing going on.
No plans.
No plans. But
Doesn't
I'll
it
be
feel
making
good?
content because I have things on my list that I haven't gotten to, of videos I need to make for Socialize, videos I need to make for myself. You know what I want to say? I want to digress for 1 second because I did something. I don't even know if you know that I did this. Did I tell you? Maybe I did. That I posted. I had the alert on my TikTok that I could post 60-minute videos on TikTok. And I'm like, that's absurd. What idiot is doing that? And now I'm raising my hand because I posted the podcast for Socialize, which is a 30-minute video. And if it was 45, I would have posted it no matter how long. But I posted one of the long videos on TikTok just to see. I'm like, we're doing a test. We're going to pop it out there. We're going to see if it gets views, what kind of engagement, if it shows up on the For You page. So guess what, Julie? It is showing up on people's For You page. The engagement, I'm going to say, what I'm getting from it is more saves because people are saving it to listen to it later. And comments of people saying, oh my God, I love this. I watched the whole thing. But that's only a few people who actually said, and one person was like, oh my God, this was great. I left the whole thing playing while I was cooking dinner. So she never even scrolled to another video and just watched the whole video. And I was like, wow. So I do think, number one, that TikTok might be pushing it out since it's a new feature, but also I'm not shy about now, I'm putting it out there because what's the worst thing that could happen? So what if people don't watch it? And so far, one of them's got almost 5,000 views for a 30-minute video. And the other one from today is at 1,500. So I don't really mind if it has a lot of views, but I don't know what made me want to talk about this or tell this right in this moment, but I don't know how I got here, but it was just one of the things I wanted to make sure I didn't know if you knew about, because this was happening all when you were in the hospital. So it's things that I don't even get to tell you that I'm doing, my little like fun things on the side that I'm doing, and I forget. I don't have
You're doing little fun things while I'm in the hospital. Sorry.
Yeah, I know you were busy. I had to catch up.
Busy.
This is the first time we've been on a physical phone call since this happened. I mean, we had a quick phone call where you
call the night after, but I was also on morphine.
Yeah.
I was like, sup?
How's everything?
The other problem at the hospital was that because we didn't know we were going to the ER, it didn't have a phone charger. So I was trying to ration my battery, and they had like charging stations, but they were in the worst possible spots. And I was just like,
oh my God,
I don't want to go sit in this corner, or like the charging station at the waiting room was away from where they were calling all the names. And it was just like, it was like an ordeal, and I kind of wanted to like I could have given Steven my phone, but I wanted to sit next to Steven and like have him there as comfort. So I didn't want him to like go for half an hour just like charge my phone, and that was a problem.
So this is a big this is a big miss on hospitals in general, because you don't know when you're going to the ER. So they should have, and I guess they have a charging station, but they should have it more readily convenient for people. That should be part of the process.
I agree. I was like,
they should have a bank of portable chargers that you could rent, those little portable ones, so that you can.
But rent? Just give them for free. You're at the fucking hospital.
I don't mean rent. I meant to borrow. I meant to borrow,
okay.
Not rent, not to pay. Yeah, I meant like you just have to sign it out so that you get them back. Because I'm thinking of all the problems, like people are going to steal them or whatever. So you have to leave your license, and have to leave your ID.
Yeah, leave something. At the end of the hospital stay, I had like 8% battery left, and we're like trying to get to the front because I was like trying so hard not to use it, but also wanted to distract myself. So it was like, what do I do? Like, what's worth it? And then I know Steven had my battery on my phone's also just like not as good anymore. So it was just a day. It was just a day. I mean, I left the house in pajamas. It was.
Oh God.
I wasn't prepared. One woman even asked at the hospital, she was like across from me, she's like, if I have to stay overnight, do you guys have like an extra pair of scrubs I can wear to bed? And they were like, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
I know. Even just like
that's
a
weird.
gown, like a hospital gown.
Yeah, that's weird. But I guess my times in the ER, I just wore my clothes and slept over because of the
Yeah.
two times I was there during the process. It's so funny because that day, I mean, this reminds me of when you were when I think about that day of you with kidney stone, it reminds me of when you were in the German homestay back in when you were in 13, and it was like you were going through all this, and I was like that day happened to be on a boat because we were here on the weekend. You know what I mean? So I think about that day when you had a kidney stone, and I was in the city, and then I was meeting Megan for a coffee, and then I went for shopping, and all of this was happening, and you were in the ER, and I kept like looking at my phone to check. And I just remember it seemed like the longest day to me. Like I was moving from thing to thing to thing, but I was so aware that you were in the hospital for this whole thing. So it maybe 4 hours or so had passed, and I was talking to Dad when I got home, and I said, "Oh my God, they've been there for so long." And he goes, "What time did she get there?" And I said, I was made it up like 12. Let me just say, I think it was around 12:30. I said, "I don't know. She went to the urgent care first, then the hospital maybe around 12:30." He goes, "So it's like 4:35. So it's only been 4 hours." And it seemed like it was 8 hours to me because I felt like I was worrying about you.
We left the house at like 10 a.m. So we were gone for like the whole day.
You were gone the whole day. It
wasn't just 4 hours, Dad.
Well, I guess because I gave him the wrong information. I told him I didn't really. He was busy at work, and you were going from thing to thing, and I didn't want to disrupt him until I knew what was actually going on. So I waited till like you were at the ER and you were getting a diagnosis, and then I called him to let him know what was happening. And I was like, so he's like, "It's only been 4 hours." I said, "Seems like forever to me because it just seemed like I was living it with you, like." Waiting for you to text and waiting for Steven to text, and then, finding out what's happening next. And this is the funniest thing of all that Dad said, though. I got to say it. When I said, so Julie is in a lot of pain and she went to the ER, and he goes, "So you getting on a plane or what?" Just the way he says it. You know how he says, he sometimes ends all his sentences with, "or what?" Like in New York thing. Yeah. He goes, "So you going to do that or what?" Like that's how he ends his sentences. So he goes, "You getting on a plane or what?" And I'm like, no, not right now until we find out what the diagnosis is. But I love that that's his reaction. He presumes I'm going to boom, hop on a plane. I just thought that was really funny. I kind of love that's his reaction because he's prepared for when I say, yes, I am getting on a plane and I'm going.
That's good. Got to prepare him.
I know. Oh my gosh. I got to say, I'm glad we got to have this whole chat because I feel like we haven't spoken all week to have a catch up on what actually went down in detail.
I agree. It was crazy because I didn't really tell, while it was happening, I didn't want to be texting a lot of people. So the only people that really knew were you, obviously Steven and Dad. And then I texted Kobe, my comedy friend, because I was our show was I was in the hospital on Tuesday and we were producing the show on Thursday. So I had to text and be like, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to do anything comedy related today. So if you get any texts that are related to me, please just handle it or pass it off to somebody because I'm not going to be functional today, at all." Right. And I was like, "I'm so sorry." So really nobody had known. And then the next day, the morning after, I had posted a few things to just my close friends' Instagram because I just wanted a quick way to update people without having to shoot out individual texts to people. Right. And so I realized Tommy and Jenna had no idea.
Oh, I know. They walked in because we were hanging out with them that night and they came in and "What's up with Julie with the kidney stone?" I was like, "Oh, right." I didn't text him either because I don't know. I was keeping Dad in the loop. It's anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
So I texted them and I filled them in on everything. But yeah, it was just funny because I was I really kept it minimal. Mainly just because I didn't have the energy to respond to people and I didn't have the phone battery to do it either. That was also the biggest. Right. I didn't have phone battery.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to catch up on the week.
I'm just glad too. And I will say the first thing you did after you went down through all this is posted a video. Well, your thing on TikTok that went mini viral from posting it, but also you posted something on your story with not a lot of context. So then I was getting text messages. And I'm
because the day after
multiple people, by the way, multiple text messages. I'm like, what did she post with it being cryptic? Give the information. Sorry. So I have people on the block that were texting me here. I had friends were texting me. Yeah.
I was using it as a way to get ticket sales for the comedy show.
Oh,
I was like,
that's
come hear what's
right.
happening.
That's what you did. And then, of course, it would raise the eyebrows of people I know, and they're like texting me. So then I said, what the heck did she
So
post that she
sorry.
didn't give any context?
It's a little karma payback for when you were blind and everyone in the world was texting me about it. I didn't just have neighbors. I had strangers on the internet.
Yes, you sure did. Do you know the other day I saw, somebody DM'd me, and on TikTok, and when I looked at it, the previous DM, this person had DM'd me one other time and then this time. And it was somebody that, I don't know, I follow back or something. So I suddenly see the first message, and it was from June 2022. And it was this long message of like, I saw what's going on, blah, blah, and I had never seen it. So I am positive that there are so many messages that came during that time that I still have not seen, which really kind of freaks me out. So many, because this was like, even somebody I knew pretty well. There's somebody, a former colleague, now that I think of it, that's who it was. And when I saw the message, I was like, oh my God, he messaged me way back then, and I never saw that one. So I apologize for never having seen it, but I was blind. So a good excuse.
It's okay.
Okay, there's one more thing. There's one more thing I want to tell you that I discovered the other day. Yeah, we got to wrap it up. So when I was exercising in front of the TV yesterday, but I didn't have the TV on. So let me set the scene for you. I had my phone on a tripod playing my exercise class, but the TV was there. So it was almost like somewhat of a mirror. Can you picture it? So it's like a dark TV. Mm-hmm. It's not on, but there's a mirror. You can see a reflection. When I looked in that TV, I was like, holy crap, this is what it was like when I was going blind. So if you want to know what I was seeing when I was going blind, stand in front of a television in a not brightly lit room, and it's outlines of bodies, and you can't see details on faces, and you could see window light, and it's kind of all muted. That is what it was like. And when I looked in the TV and I saw and remembered, I was like, blown away, because I realized, like, it's finally something that I have a description of somebody that they can understand what I was experiencing. Crazy. A little bit of enlightenment on blindness. Anyway, and that was when I still could see a little bit. It got worse after that, but that was like last I remembered before the lights went out totally. Oh gosh, Julie, we've been through a lot, and life is dishing us some things. Has dished. But look at you now. You performed. You had a great show. I want to wrap it up by saying I saw the photos, because you got a professional photographer at this one. You didn't tell me how your set was, so take 1 minute and tell me, how was your performance last night?
Well, I didn't have any time to rehearse this week, so I did the same stuff as I did when you came, essentially. I only did 6.5 minutes because I couldn't remember anything else. I did as much as I could. Given the circumstances, it was the least nervous I was for any performance, because I was like, I'm just here. That's the best
you got here.
we can do.
You got there. But so the photos with your friend, with the professional photographer are great. Did everybody like their videos?
We haven't gotten them out yet. But they will.
Good. I can't wait to see. So you should post some of those photos. They're really pretty. So congrats on yet another show.
Another one in the books.
Happy you're healthy, back to hopefully normal, and not going to have any more pain. And now we're going to hydrate. That's the lesson for today.
Drink your water.
Yours truly,
Helen and Julie.
All right. If you enjoyed today's podcast, that was just a catch up. We definitely want to have one coming up where we talk about the topic of anxiety, because I really want to dive into that topic at some point, because it's something that I barely ever experienced in my life, and it's only becoming more prevalent for me now, and I want us to both talk about that at some point in the future. So let's put that one on the list. All right, that was fun. It was great to catch up, Julie. We haven't had a long time to talk this week, so this was our real-time catch-up. And who's ever with us, thank you for listening. Did you have fun today?
So much fun.
Reliving it? All right.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, you gotta do it. So go leave us a review if you had fun listening in with us. And if you have anything that you are relating to on the things that we said, if you've had any experience like this, we would love to hear from you. You can make some comments on the podcast Instagram, which is yourstruly.thepodcast. And it's funny for me because I often get direct messages from people who listen. And if you're wondering if I enjoy that, hi Lorraine, I do. I really enjoy it. So you know the people who do it. Nicola, I haven't heard from you in a while. Hit me up. I love to get the messages because I like to know if we're striking a chord. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.